Right, you see. Next, note 4 in horizontal projectile. Okay, from certain height, here it is the ground. From certain height, a shell or bomb is exploded. From certain height, a shell or bomb is exploded into two fragments or two parts. Okay. Suppose one fragment is this one, another fragment is this one, having maybe masses same or maybe different. Okay. Here it is. Here a shell or bomb is divided into two fragments like this. One fragment fly off along horizontal direction with a velocity u1. The other fragment fly off with a velocity u2 in opposite direction. At certain height, a shell or bomb having certain mass is divided into two parts so that the two parts fly off with velocities u1 and u2 horizontally exactly in opposite directions. Okay, now here these two bodies seems to be the two bodies projected horizontally from certain height now. Here these two parts seems to be projected horizontally from certain height now in the diagram you see. Okay, now what is the path traced by these two bodies before reaches the ground? What is the path along which the two bodies travel before reaches the ground? Parabola path, because the path of the horizontal projectile is a parabola. Already we discussed it. Here, suppose this is the vertical height. Here, these two bodies travel along the parabolic path like this and reaches the ground. Here, this also travel along the parabolic path and finally reaches the ground. But before reaches here, you see, whenever the body is here, its velocity direction is along tangential direction like this. Whenever the body is here, as long as the body comes down like this, at the instant whenever the body is here, its velocity is along tangential direction like this, that is say v1. Because as long as the body comes down, its velocity gradually changes and its magnitude of velocity becomes say v1 at this point. Next, at the same time, after these two bodies starts moving horizontally with these velocities, after some time t seconds, whenever the body reaches the point here, its velocity becomes say v1, and at the same time the velocity of this body becomes say v2. Here this velocity is also along the tangential direction to this path now. So here the velocity is along tangential direction, that is say v2. Okay, now you extend these velocities in backward direction. What is the angle between these two velocities? Suppose the angle between the two velocities becomes say theta after some time. Here the two bodies are thrown horizontally from certain height, or a shell is exploded into two parts and the two parts fly off with velocities u1 and u2 horizontally like this in opposite direction. Then they travel along the parabolic path. As long as they travel along the parabolic path, initially velocities are horizontal to each other. So what is the angle between the initial velocities? What is the angle between the initial velocity directions? As they are in opposite direction, what is the angle between the initial velocities? 180 degree. But as long as the two bodies moving like this, the velocity directions gradually changes so that the angle between the two velocity vectors gradually decreases. Okay, so after t seconds, these two are traveled. After t seconds, these two are projected. Then after t seconds, the first body reaches the point here, second body reaches the point here, so that the velocity vectors are like this. Then angle between the velocity vectors is theta. Okay, so what is the time taken by the two bodies so that the angle between the velocity vectors becomes theta? Angle between the velocity vectors is theta. Here the two bodies travel like this, and after some time these two are traveled. The velocity vector angle between the velocity vectors becomes theta. For that angle between the two vectors is theta, what is the time taken? That time we have to find. After what time the angle between the velocity vectors is theta. So the time after which the angle between velocity vectors v1 bar and v2 bar is theta, comma t, that is equal to question mark. We have to find. So to find not 90, in general I am discussing. Okay, is theta not 90? Not 90 means maybe 90. here theta is not equal to 90, greater than 90 now in the diagram. If you see the diagram keenly, it is greater than 90. Maybe 90, maybe 30, maybe 40, 45, 50, 60, whatever it may be. In general, I am discussing. Later, we will discuss a particular case. Now, whenever it is 90, what is the time taken, etc. Okay. Now you see, first of all, to find the angle between this velocity and this velocity vector, because this theta is the angle between these two velocity vectors, no? That's why you find this velocity and this velocity in vector form. Okay, when you know velocities in vector form, to find the angle between those two velocity vectors, we have to use the dot product. Okay, first we have to find the velocity vector. In case of first particle, whenever the first particle reaches the point, this point here, this point, say P, at that time, if the velocity is v1, then what is the horizontal component of velocity? Horizontal component of velocity here is equal to vx1 for first particle, and vertical component of velocity at this point is vy1 for the first particle after t seconds. Similarly, for the second particle, along here you resolve this velocity into two components. One is horizontal, one is vertical. Okay, so here it is the horizontal component of velocity of the second particle, and it is the vertical component of velocity of the second particle after t seconds. Okay, now for first particle, this is the first particle, this is the second particle. For first particle, horizontal component of velocity vx1 is equal to, tell me, what is the horizontal component of velocity for the first particle after t seconds? As it is fired with a velocity u1 horizontally, at any point horizontal component of velocity is u1 only, no? So u1. Next, vertical component of velocity after time t seconds is equal to, from v is equal to u plus at, vy1, that means vertical component of velocity along y-axis is equal to v is equal to u plus at. U means along vertical direction, initially it has no velocity, that's why 0, plus at. As it comes down here, because of gravity it comes down, due to that its velocity becomes vy1. That's why acceleration due to gravity acts on them into time taken t. Therefore, the velocity of the first particle after t1 seconds, after t seconds is equal to, in vector form we have to write x component of velocity of the first particle into I cap. You see, x component of velocity is along positive direction, that's why into I cap, plus y component of velocity along negative, that's why minus vy1 into j cap. Therefore, vx1 means u1 into I cap minus vy means gt into j cap. It is the velocity of the first particle after t seconds. Similarly, what about the velocity of the second particle? For second particle, tell me, what is the velocity of the second particle after t seconds? What about their x component? X component of second particle is equal to, here as initially at the time whenever the bullet is fired or shell is exploded, at the time horizontal velocity of this shell is equal to u2. Throughout the motion, the horizontal velocity does not change, as no force acts on the shells along horizontal direction. That's why that is equal to u2 only. Okay. Next, what is the magnitude of vertical component of velocity? So again, from v is equal to u plus at, vy2 is equal to, that means velocity of the particle along vertical direction is equal to v is equal to u plus at. U means initial velocity of the second particle along vertical direction is 0, because initially the particle travel along horizontal direction. That's why vertical component of velocity is 0. V is equal to u plus a means acceleration due to gravity is positive only, because as long as the particle comes down, because of gravity downwards, its velocity goes on increasing downwards direction. Initially it is 0 along vertical direction, but whenever after t seconds, whenever the body reaches the point here, the vertical component of velocity is equal to 0 plus g into t. Therefore, velocity of the second particle after t seconds in vector form is equal to, because we had to find the angle between v1 and v2, velocity angle between this velocity vector and this velocity vector. That's why those two velocities must be written in vector form. So already first we have written. What about the second one? You tell me. V2 bar is equal to, how we can write? This x component is along negative direction. That's why minus x component of velocity of the second particle is u2 into I cap. Next, y component is along negative direction. So minus y component of velocity is gt into along y direction means j cap. This is the velocity vector of the second particle after t seconds. So we have to find the angle between the two vectors. Now, to find the angle between the two vectors and which are given in vector form, then v1 bar dot v2 bar is equal to v1 v2 cos theta. From this cos theta is equal to v1 bar dot v2 bar by v1 v2. Therefore cos theta is equal to v1 bar means from equation 1 u1 I cap minus gt into j cap. Okay, dots v2 bar means minus u2 I cap minus u2 I cap minus gt into j cap whole by v1 means magnitude of v1 bar means magnitude of this one, that is equal to square root of u1 square plus g square t square into v2 means magnitude of this vector, so u2 square plus g square t square. Okay, therefore cos theta is equal to dot product between these two. So I cap coefficients product means u1 into minus u2. So minus u1 u2 minus minus plus g into t gt. So g square t square whole by square root of u1 square plus g square t square into square root of u2 square plus g square t square. So here it is the general formula for time after which the angle between the two velocity vectors is theta. Okay, so here this is important equation and it is the general equation. So equation 3. Okay, suppose if the angle between the velocity vectors is 120 degree, what is the time taken? Means theta you substitute 120, then you find t value from this equation. If velocity vectors are perpendicular to each other, that means if velocity vectors of the two particles that is perpendicular to each other means 90 degree. In that case, theta is equal to 90. Then you substitute theta is equal to 90 here. So cos 90 is equal to minus u1 u2 plus g square t square by square root of u1 square plus g square t square into square root of u2 square plus g square t square. As cos 90 is equal to 0, this is equal to 0. Now we do cross multiplication. This denominator into 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, remaining is minus u1 u2 plus g square t square. Okay, that is equal to 0. Or g square t square is equal to u1 u2. Or if you simplify them, t is equal to, you will get root u1 u2 whole by g you will get. So it is the time after which the velocity vectors are perpendicular to each other. Suppose if u1 u2 are equal in magnitude, then instead of u1 u2 you substitute u, then t is equal to square root of u into u square whole by g. That means t is equal to u by g you will get. Okay, next, after t seconds, whenever the angle between the two velocity vectors is theta, at that time what is the separation between the two particles? Actually in t seconds, whatever the vertical distance traveled by this particle also travel the same distance. That's why these two particles are at the same horizontal level, because initially both the particles are having no velocity along vertical direction. After t seconds, whenever the angle between the two velocity vectors is theta, then in the time t, what is the distance traveled means from s is equal to ut plus half at square along vertical direction u0 initially, so half gt square. This particle after t seconds, whenever it comes to this point, the vertical distance traveled is half gt square. Here also half gt square. That's why these two particles are at the same uh, horizontal level. Okay, at that time, what is the separation between the two particles? So in order to find the separation between the two particles after t seconds, you see, in t seconds, whenever this particle comes to this position, it will travel a distance equal to x1. Similarly, in this direction, in t seconds, it travel a distance x2. So separation between the two particles s is equal to, separation between the two particles s is equal to separation between two particles after t seconds, particles after time t is s, which is equal to x1 plus x2. This distance plus this distance is the separation between the two particles. So s is equal to, with this horizontal velocity in a time t seconds, as the particle comes here, the distance traveled is equal to horizontal velocity into time now. So u1 into t plus x2 means u2 into t. Therefore, s is equal to, you take t common, u1 plus u2 into t. This is the horizontal separation between the two particles. T means from this equation, you will be given angle between the velocity vectors is something. At that time, what is the time taken means from this equation 3, you will get time taken. You substitute here, you will get answer. If velocity vectors are perpendicular to each other, then the time taken t is equal to root u1 by u2 by 0. At that time, what is the separation between the two particles means u1 plus u2 into t means root u1 u2 whole by g. So this is the separation between the two particles when velocity vectors becomes perpendicular to each other. Similarly, whenever the velocity vectors between the two particles is theta, what is the separation between the two particles means this is the formula. So in this way we can determine. Okay. Fifth one, time in which position vectors are displacement vectors of two fragments projected horizontally in opposite direction from certain height. Time in which the position vector or displacement vectors of two fragments projected horizontally in opposite direction from certain height is theta. So the time in which the position vectors or displacement vectors of the two fragments projected horizontally in opposite directions from certain height is theta. For this, we have to derive the formula. That time is a t. We have to derive the formula for this. That means after what time the two bodies are projected horizontally, the angle between their displacement vector or position vector is theta. That we have to derive. Is video is visible to you clearly? Is the video streaming is clearly to you or not? Come on, you respond. Okay, Rahul, you check your mobile. Okay, Nana. Right. You see, here from certain height from the ground, it is the ground. From certain height, two fragments are fired exactly in opposite directions with velocities say u1 and u2. Of course, these two travel along the parabolic path like this. Already we discussed it here in that case. And this also travel along the parabolic path like this and finally reaches the ground after some time. But meanwhile, here after some time, whenever the first body reaches this point here, it is the first body, it is the second body. Whenever the first body reaches this point, at that time, suppose the position from which the two bodies are projected horizontally is say origin. If it is origin, then the position of this particle with respect to origin after some time t seconds is this one. No? This is the position vector of the particle with respect to origin. Or whenever the after t seconds, whenever the particle reaches the point here, then this is the displacement also. No? So this is a displacement vector or it is the position vector of the particle after t seconds with respect to point of explosion or with respect to the point from which these two bodies are thrown. Next, after the same time, the second body lies at this point because in the given time t seconds, definitely through what distance this body reaches, through what distance along vertical direction this first body comes down, through the same distance second body also comes down, because initially these two bodies are having no velocity along vertical direction. So along vertical direction these two behaves like a freely falling body. After t seconds along vertical direction, what is the distance traveled means s is equal to ut plus half it square. U is 0 for the both particles initially along vertical direction. Half gt square for this half gt square for this half gt square. That means this distance is equal to half gt square for the two particles. That's why we have to take the two particles at the same height from the bottom, because they travel same distance along vertical direction in t seconds. Okay. Now after t seconds, the second particle comes to this position. Okay. Then what is the position vector or displacement vector of the second particle? That is say r2 bar. How we can write r2 bar and r1 bar in vector form? Because here after what time the angle between the position vectors or displacement vectors becomes theta. That we have to find. After what time the angle between the Here it is the first part, second particle, it is the first particle, and it is a origin. Okay. After what time the angle between the position vectors of these two particles or displacement vectors of these two particles is theta. So to find the theta, first we have to write position vectors or displacement vectors r1 bar and r2 bar in vector form first. Okay. In t seconds, you see, in t seconds, whenever the particle is here, it has traveled along x-axis. This means in this direction through certain distance, no? So along x-axis, what is the distance traveled? x1, x for first particle. For first particle, x1 is equal to, that means horizontal distance traveled is equal to horizontal velocity is u1. With this velocity, in a time t seconds, whenever it reaches the point here, you see, this is the horizontal distance traveled in a time t seconds, that is x1. It is the horizontal distance traveled for the second particle in a time t2. So what is x1? x1 is equal to u1 into t, no? Because horizontal component of velocity does not alter with time. That's why with this velocity in a time t seconds, what is the horizontal distance traveled means u1 into t, that is x1. Similarly, what about y1? What is the vertical displacement of the same body in a time t seconds? Initially body is here, finally the body comes to this place. Then along vertical direction, what is the distance traveled means this is vertical distance traveled y1. How we can write? Along vertical direction, initial velocity is 0. Along vertical direction, initial velocity is 0. After t seconds, when particle comes to here, along vertical direction, as the velocity increase goes on, then a is equal to plus g. After t seconds, along vertical direction, displacement is say y is equal to question mark. So from s is equal to ut plus half it square, here y1 is equal to question mark. Along vertical direction, along vertical, initial velocity for the particle is 0. Initial velocity along vertical direction is 0 because it is projected horizontally. That's why along vertical direction it has no velocity. As long as the body comes down, it comes down because of acceleration due to gravity. That's why a is equal to plus g. After t seconds, whenever the body comes to this position, along vertical direction, what is the displacement? That means displacement s is equal to y1. y1 is equal to question mark. So what is the relation among them? From s is equal to ut plus half at square, no? From s is equal to ut plus half at square. S means y1, u0 plus half a means g t square. It is y1. Therefore, the position vector of the particle r1 bar is equal to, or displacement vector of the particle r1 bar is equal to x component of the particle x1 into I cap plus y1 into j cap. It is the general formula. Okay, r1 bar is equal to, its displacement along x-axis is along positive x direction only. That's why plus x1 means u1t. So u1t into I cap. Its displacement along vertical direction, y1 is along negative y direction. That's why minus y1 means this one, half gt square into j cap. This is equation 1. It is r1 bar. Similarly, for r2 bar also you will get the same. Similarly, r2 bar is equal to, tell me how we can get r2 bar is equal to. Here, displacement along x-axis is no doubt u2 into t, but is along negative x direction. That's why minus u2 into t, I cap. Next, displacement along vertical direction is same as the first particle because it is second particle also thrown horizontally with a velocity u2 initially. That's why vertical velocity is 0. After t seconds, it comes down through a distance say y2. y2 is also equal to half gt square only, no? Because u is 0. That's why that is also, that y2 is also along negative direction. That's why minus half gt square, no? gt square into j cap. This is the r2 bar. Okay. Therefore, in order to find the angle between these two, you find the dot product. So cos theta is equal to, already previously we have written, no? r1 bar dot r2 bar by r1 r2. It is the dot product, no? Previously, we have written the same, or 2 here we have written. This is only 2 we have written. No, 2 is not there. 2 is not there. Okay, there is no 2. Okay. 2 is not there because dot product means r1 bar dot r2 bar is equal to r1 r2 cos theta only. r1 bar dot r2 bar is equal to r1 r2 cos theta only, not 2. 2 will not be there. Okay. No, in previous case there is no 2. Okay. right? So here dot product between the two means R1 bar dot R2 bar. You tell me directly. R1 bar dot R2 bar. This is equation 2. R1 bar dot R2 bar means just you do the dot product between I cap coefficients. So U1T dot minus U2T means minus U1 U2 into T square you will get. Minus minus plus. Okay. Product between these two means minus minus plus G square by 4 into T to the power 4. Okay. By R1. R1 means magnitude of this one. So square root of 2 is not there. Even in previous case also 2 is not there. You erase them. Okay. Magnitude of this one. U1T whole square plus half GT square whole square. Okay. Into magnitude of R2 means this one. U2T whole square plus half GT square whole square. This is the, here in this formula, this is the time after which the angle between the two displacement vectors is theta. When, okay, in this time, what is the separation between the two bodies? In this time, what is the separation between the two bodies? So when separation between the two bodies in this case, x is equal to x1 plus x2. That is equal to x1 means u1t plus x2 means u2t. Therefore, x is equal to u1 plus u2 into t. So whatever the time value you get from this formula, you substitute here. u1, u2 already will be given. Then you simplify them. Then you will get the separation between the two particles whenever the displacement vectors are at an angle theta. If displacement vectors are perpendicular to each other, if r1 bar is perpendicular to r2 bar, in that case theta is equal to 90. Then this becomes cos 90 is 0. Then this becomes 0. Then you do cross multiplication. This total term becomes 0. Only this is equal to 0 you will get. Minus u1 u2 t square plus g square by 4 t to the power 4 is equal to 0. Or g square t to the power 4 by 4 is equal to u1 u2 into t square. Here t square 1 t square cancel. So t square is there. Then t square is equal to 4 u1 u2 by g square. Implies t is equal to 2 into root u1 u2 by g. This is the time after which the angle between the displacement vectors is 90. Okay, at that time, what is the separation between the two particles? Separation between the two particles s or x is equal to same formula x1 plus x2 into t. That means u1 plus u2 into t means this one 2 root u1 u2 by z. So this is the separation between the two particles after angle between the displacement vectors or position vectors is equal to 90. This is the formula. Okay. In this way you have to do. So this concept is also important one. Okay. Okay, take screenshot. What is the difference is 0 now? Difference means x different. It is x1, it is x2. If velocities are different, there is a difference between these two. But here they asked the separation between the two particles after t seconds. They asked. Okay. Right. Shall I erase this one? No, there is slight difference. In previous problem, t is equal to root u1 u2 by g we got. Here, whenever displacement vectors are perpendicular to each other, we got 2 into root u1 u2 by g. In this case, in previous case, we got only root u1 u2 by g. No. In previous case, we got only root u1 u2 by g. Okay. Right. Shall I erase now? Right. Okay, now we have to do some problems related to this. Okay, exercise 6, level 1, page number 89. Are we completed this problem or not? You listen. A body is projected horizontally from a height of 78.4 meter with a velocity 10 meter per second. Its velocity after 3 seconds is, I think it's not completed. Okay, right. Here in level 1, page number 89, exercise 1, in lecture sheet only. In practice sheet, practice sheet is meant for doing problems at your home by you. Okay, lecture sheet is the problems which are to be done in the class by us. Okay, a body is projected horizontally from a height of 78.4 meter. So from the height 78.4 meter, a body is projected horizontally with a velocity u is equal to 10 meter per second. Okay, its velocity after 3 seconds. Suppose as it is projected horizontally, definitely travel along the parabolic path, and after some time t is equal to 3 seconds. After t is equal to 3 seconds, whenever suppose it reaches the point here, at the time, what is the velocity? In vector form, answer is given. In vector form, answer is given. That's why after t is equal to 3 seconds, whenever the body reaches the point here, its velocity is along tangential direction here. It is having x component of velocity vx and y component of velocity vy. No doubt x component of velocity does not alter, because at the top of the tower or at the highest point, with what velocity it is thrown horizontally. At any point before it reaches the ground, horizontal component of velocity is 10 only, along the same direction, 10 meter per second only. What about the vertical component of velocity? So along vertical, initial velocity, as the body is thrown horizontally, initial velocity along vertical direction is equal to 0. Acceleration along vertical direction. Whenever the body comes down like this because of gravity, its vertical velocity gradually increases, but there is no change in the horizontal velocity. That's why as the vertical velocity increases because of gravity, acceleration is plus z, that is equal to plus 10 meter per second square. And after time t is equal to 3 seconds. What is the velocity along vertical direction? Means v is equal to vy, that is equal to question mark. What is the relation among them? What is the relation among them? What is the relation among them? From v is equal to u plus at. V means vy is equal to u0 plus a means 10 into t means 3. Therefore, vy is equal to 30 meter per second and vx is equal to 10 meter per second. Now you write in vector form. Therefore, after 3 seconds, velocity v bar is equal to vx into I cap, general formula, vx into I cap plus vy into j cap. It is the general formula. Therefore, v bar is equal to x component of velocity is along positive x direction only. That's why plus 10 only we have to write into I cap. Y component of velocity is along negative direction, along vertically downwards means along negative y axis. That's why minus you write, minus 30 into j cap. This is the value of velocity after t seconds in vector form. What is the magnitude? Means square root of vx square plus vy square. That is the magnitude. Okay. So 10 I cap minus 30 j cap is the answer. Next, second problem in this exercise. A ball is projected horizontally from the top of the building of 19.6 meter high. If the line joining the point of projection to the point where it hits the ground makes 45 degree to the horizontal, the initial velocity of the ball is dash. Here, it is important problem. One body is projected horizontally from certain height, from the top of the building of height h is equal to 19.6 meter. Okay, then it travel along the parabolic path and hits the ground at this point. Okay, now the line joining the point of projection and point where it hits the ground. Point of projection is this one, point where it hits the ground is this one. The line joining these two makes an angle 45 degree with the horizontal. Makes an angle 45 degree to the horizontal. Then initial velocity of the ball is dash. Initial velocity of the ball they asked. Okay. Now, whenever theta is equal to 45, then this side also we know, this side is equal to say x. Then from the diagram, tan 45 is equal to h by x. It is equal to 1. Therefore, h is equal to x, no? That means horizontal distance traveled is equal to h, means 19.6 meter. That means indirectly the range of this horizontal projectile is given. What is the formula for range? Range in case of horizontal projectile, range is equal to x, that is equal to u into root 2h by 0. Range of the horizontal projectile is equal to horizontal velocity of the projectile u into time taken by the body to reach the ground is equal to root 2h by z. So x means 19.6 is equal to u means we have to find, I think, u. Okay, u we have to find. Okay, u into root 2 into h means 19.6 by g means you write 9.8, because if you take 9.8, 9.8 twos are we can write easily. That's why you take 9.8. 9.8 twos are. Therefore, u is equal to root 2 into 2 means 2. 2 nines are 0.8s are. Okay, this much meter per second. So it is the velocity of projection of the body. Okay, 9.8. Okay, this is important problem. Next. Third one. Already I said the concept for this. Here there are two wooden screens separated by distance 200 meter. A bullet is traveling horizontally at a speed of 600 meter per second, hits the screen A and penetrates through it, and finally emerges out from the B, making hole in A and B. If the resistance of the air and wood are negligible, the difference in heights of the holes in A and B. Already I said the concept. Here this bullet makes the hole here and they emerges out. Then because of gravity, they travel along the parabolic path and it hits the plank B, wooden plank B at this point, and it emerges out through this. So before it emerges out, it makes a hole here. What is the separation between this hole and this hole? They asked. Here you see the horizontal distance between the two holes is equal to distance between the two screens, that is equal to 200, and at the same time the vertical separation between the two holes is this one, that is say y. Okay, now it is just like a body projected horizontally from a height y, then it travels along the parabolic path and reaches the plane, horizontal plane, passing through this foot of the tower. It is just like that. What is the relation among this y, x and u? Y is equal to g by 2u square into x square. No, it is horizontal projectile. That's why y is equal to g by 2u square into x square. You substitute the data. Y we have to find. G means 10 you take by 2 into u square means 600 into 600 into x square means 200 into 200. 200 threes are 200 threes are. Okay, therefore this is equal to 10 by 18. Y is equal to 10 by 18. Of course, I think he has taken g is equal to 9.8. He has taken g is equal to 9.8. You do the problem by taking 9.8. Answer is not there like this. You take g is equal to 9.8. Of course, approximately you will get same problem. So you take 9.8. 9.8 by 2 into u square means 600 into 600 into x square means 200 into 200. Okay, 3s are 3s are 2 4.9s are. Okay, therefore y is equal to 49 by 90, no? 90 meter. So this answer is there, 49 by 90. So this is the answer. In this way we can do. Of course, in previous case also, if you simplify them, approximately you will get the same value as this. But it is given in terms of like this, 49 by 90, like that, without simplification. So we'll get answer like this. Next, fourth problem. The height and width of each step of a staircase are height of each step is equal to 20 centimeter, width of each step is equal to 30 centimeter. Okay, a ball rolls off the top of the staircase with a horizontal velocity v and hits the fifth step. Already I said this concept also, I think. Am I explaining this concept or not in the class? Okay, very good. So here, height of each step is h and width of each step is w. Here one ball rolls off with a velocity u. No doubt as the step is horizontally, rolls off with a velocity v horizontally, so that it is just like a horizontally projected body. Travel along the parabolic path and hits the fifth step. It hits the fifth step. So n is equal to 5. Then whenever it hits the fifth step, then what is the, before it makes the collision with the fifth step, what is the vertical distance traveled? Y is equal to n into h, no? Similarly, at the same time, what is the horizontal distance traveled? X is equal to n into w, no? So what is the relation between y and x? Same relation, y and x. Okay, y is equal to g by 2u square into x square, because it is just like a body thrown horizontally from a height y, and it reaches the ground, it reaches the this position after some time. During this time, horizontal distance travel is equal to x. Then relation among them is this only, no? Now we substitute the data. Y means nh is equal to g by 2 into u means v square into x means nw whole square, n square w square. Okay, from this we have to find v. That's why v square is equal to g into n square w square by 2 into n into h. So here n square cancel. Therefore, v square is equal to nzw square by 2 into capital H. Substitute the data. V square is equal to n means number of step. It makes collision with the fifth step. It is given 5 into g means you take 10. If root is not, square root cannot be obtained directly, then you can take 9.8 also. Okay. Then g means 10 into width. All this data is substituted in SI system. 10 meter per second square means in SI system. Answer is also given in SI system. That's why you have to substitute W and H in SI system only. In SI system, W means this W is equal to 30 by 100, no? D means 0.3 meter. So W means 0.3 meter whole square by H means 2 into H means 20 by 100 means 0.2 meter, no? Therefore, H means 0.2 meter. That's all. This is equal to 50 into 0.3 into 0.3, 0.09. 0.09 by 0.4. This is equal to 50 into, we can take this as 9 by 100 into 1 by 0.4 means 4 by 10 means into 10. That's all. 0, 0 cancel. Here 0, 0 cancel. So 45 by 4. V square is equal to. Therefore, V is equal to 45 by 4 means how we can write 45 by 4 and root 45 by 2. Root 45 by 2 means approximately, what is the value you will get? What is the value you will get approximately? You can write, you see, this is equal to, this can be written as V is equal to root 45 by 4. That is equal to, here this can be written as 9 into 5. 9 into 5 means root 9 into 5 by 4 we can write. Therefore, V is equal to, you write 9 and 4 outside. Then you will get 3 by 2 into root 5. So 1.5 root 5, no? 1.5 root 5 is the answer. Okay, yes, that is the answer. Implies V is equal to 1.5 into root 5 meter per second. This is the velocity with which the ball rolls off from the top of the staircase. Okay. Next. Fifth problem. Fifth problem. A ball thrown horizontally with a velocity v from the top of a tower of height h reaches the ground in t seconds. If another ball of double the mass is thrown horizontally with velocity 3v from the top of the another tower of height 4h, it reaches the ground in a time dash. Here, from the top of the tower, when a body is thrown horizontally with certain velocity, time taken by the body to reach the ground is equal to t is equal to root 2h by 0. That means the time taken by the body to reach the ground when projected horizontally from the top of the tower does not depend on the velocity of projection, whatever the velocity, but height changes, because in first case a body is thrown horizontally from a height h. In next case the body is thrown with the certain velocity from a height 4h. Height changes. That's why time taken by the body to reach the ground also changes. Only height is the variable. 2 by g is constant. That's why 2 is proportional to root h. There are two cases. T1 by T2 is equal to root of h1 by h2. In first case, time taken is t. In second case, we have to find. In first case, height from which the body thrown horizontally is h. In next case, it is projected from the top of the tower of height 4h. That's why you write like this. Then it is equal to 1 by 2 no. Therefore, tt is equal to 2t. So for the second body to reach the ground, time taken is double the time taken by the first body to reach the ground. Okay, next, level 2. Level 2. Okay, next, level 2. Shall I read this one? Fifth problem. Okay, right. Okay, these are somewhat easy problems. In this level 2, we are having some different problems. So level 2, page number is 90. Page number is 90. Okay, first one, you see, a fighter plane flying horizontally, most important, a fighter plane flying horizontally at an altitude of 2 km with a speed of 540 km per hour passes directly over the head of an anti-aircraft gun. If the gun can fire a bullet at the muzzle speed of 500 meters per second, at what angle with the vertical the gun should fire the bullet so that the bullet hits the plane? Okay, so here it is the ground. From the ground at certain height, there is a plane, fighter plane, moving horizontally with a velocity, say u1. U1 is equal to, here this fighter plane is at a height of h is equal to 2 km. H is equal to 2 km. Fighter plane is moving at this altitude. Altitude means height. At this altitude to 2 km, the fighter plane travel with a speed of 540 km per hour. 540 km per hour. Okay, continuously travel like this. So at the instant, whenever exactly at the bottom of the fighter plane on the ground, there is a anti-aircraft gun. There is a anti-aircraft gun. So by means of this anti-aircraft gun, we have to fire the enemy's flight. We have to crash the enemy's flight. To smash the or to crash the enemy's flight, here with what velocity it is to the bullet is to be fired? No, not that angle they ask. Okay, with what angle the barrel of the anti-aircraft gun is to be kept so that it crashes the or it hits the fighter plane. To hit the fighter plane, whatever the gun we use, that is called anti-aircraft gun. With this anti-aircraft gun, at what angle the bullet is fired from this gun? This bullet fired from the gun is moving with a velocity say u2 at an angle of theta. This is just like an oblique projectile. Then it travel along the parabolic path, and whenever it hits, it reaches the whenever it reaches the point here, by the time this must reach the same point. This must reach the same point. Then only the bullet hits the fighter plane. That means at the moment whenever they collide each other, the horizontal distance traveled for the bullet and this fighter plane both are same now. X is same for both. At the same time, the height in the same time t, the height reached by the bullet in upward direction must be equal to 2 km. Then only collision takes place. So these are the two conditions. One condition is horizontal distance travel is same for both. Horizontal distance traveled For this bullet is say x1, for this flight is say x2. X1, x2 both are equal. Okay, so x1 is equal to x2. X1 means that is, suppose after t seconds when bullet is fired or shell is fired from the barrel, then it reaches the point here, so that it travel a distance x1, x2 after t seconds. In the same time t, the distance traveled by this fighter plane is equal to, as it is moving with constant velocity, u1 into t is the distance traveled by the fighter plane to reach this point. In the same time, what is the distance traveled by this bullet in the gun? The horizontal component of velocity of the bullet is equal to u2 cos theta. With this horizontal velocity in a time t seconds, what is the distance traveled? Means x2 is equal to u2 cos theta into time t. Of course, in the same time, both reaches the point here. That's why tt cancel. So u1 is equal to u2 into cos theta. Okay, here u1 is given in kilometer per hour and u2 is given in meter per second. u2 is given as 500 meter per second, but u1 is given as kilometer per hour. So we have to convert this into meter per second. 540 into, to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second, what you have to do? They asked it with vertical. Okay, with vertical they asked. At what angle with vertical? Okay, here with vertical they asked. With vertical means this is say theta. Then this is equal to u2 sin theta, no? With vertical they asked. Okay. With vertical. Very good. So u2 sin theta. So here it is u2 sin theta. Okay. Now to convert this kilometer per hour into meter per second, what we have to do? No, here you tell me. To convert this 540 kilometer per hour into power into meter per second, we have to multiply with 5 by 18. Okay, very good. 5 by 18. That much meter per second. 18 3s are 54 into 0. So 150 meter per second. No? So u1 means 150 meter per second. u2 means 500 meter per second into sin theta. Okay, therefore sin theta is equal to, you see 0 0 cancel, 5 3s are 5 10s are. Okay, therefore 3 by 10. Sin theta is equal to 3 by 10 or theta is equal to sin inverse 3 by 10. Okay, that is given directly. So implies theta is equal to sin inverse 3 by 10. This is the answer. Sometimes in cosine function they may give. If they give in cosine function, you see, you have to write like this. If it is given in cosine function, if you get theta like this, theta is equal to opposite side by adjacent. Opposite is 3. Hypotenuse means 10. Okay, now what is this value? Square root of this square minus this square means root 100 minus 9 means 91. No. Now, if they ask in cosine function, theta is equal to cos inverse something, then cos theta is equal to root 91. Cos theta is equal to, is it correct? Cos theta is equal to root 91 by 10. Cos theta is equal to root 91 by 10. If they ask the theta is equal to tan inverse, then tan theta is equal to 3 by root 91. So theta is equal to tan inverse 3 by root 91. In such a way, we can do. But answer is given in sine function only. That's why theta is equal to sine inverse 3 by 10 is the answer. Okay. Yeah. Varshit, by calculating this also, you have to subtract this angle from 90 so that you will get this value. Okay, we can find, no problem. But you won't get directly like this. We won't get directly like this. 90 minus something you'll get. 90 minus cos something you'll get. Okay. Second one, very, very important. Second one, very, very important. At certain height, a body at rest explodes into two equal fragments with one fragment receiving a horizontal velocity of 10 meters per second. The time interval after the explosion, for which the velocity vectors of the two fragments become perpendicular to each other. Here, one shell is exploded at certain height. One shell is exploded at certain height into two fragments of equal masses, in which one fragment receives a velocity 10 meters per second. When the shell or bomb is exploded into two equal masses, definitely the two fragments acquire the same velocity. Here it is divided into two equal fragments. That's why if the velocity of one body is 10, then the velocity of the other body is also same because mass are same. M. That's why velocity of the other also same, 10 meters per second. So both fly off horizontally in opposite directions with velocities 10 meters per second each. The time interval after which the velocity vectors becomes perpendicular to each other. So here after some time, the velocity vector is here. After some more time, after the same time here, the velocity vector of this point is say v2. Then v1 and v2. Both are perpendicular to each other after what time? Already we derived just now. The time after which the velocity vectors becomes perpendicular to each other is directly root u1 u2 by z0. If you are not having idea about that formula, then as said earlier, based on the concept you derive like this and you simplify them, you will get root u1 u2 by g. Now we substitute the data. Root u1 means 10, u2 means 10, by g means 10. So t is equal to 1 second, no? So after 1 second, the explosion takes place. The two fragments velocities are perpendicular to each other after 1 second. Okay. So whenever the velocity vectors are perpendicular to each other, what is the separation between the two fragments at the time? Means x1 plus x2. That is the next problem. Third problem. Separation between the two fragments is equal to x1 plus x2. x1 means u1 into t, x2 means u2 into t. This is equal to u1 plus u2 into t. u1, u2 both are same, 10 plus 10 into t means 1, so 20 meter. Separation between the two fragments after velocity vectors are perpendicular is equal to 20 meter. In this way we can do. Similarly, for displacement vectors they asked. Okay. Next, fifth problem we will do. Next problem, fourth problem we can do. Next, fifth problem. Fifth problem. At certain height, a shell at rest exploded into two equal fragments. One of the fragments receives a horizontal velocity of u. The time interval after which the velocity vectors will be inclined at 120 degree each other. So a shell here at certain height, a shell at rest is exploded into two equal fragments, in which one fragment acquires the velocity, horizontal velocity u. Then what is the velocity of the other fragment? At certain height, a shell exploded into two equal masses, two equal fragments having same masses, in which one fragment acquires the velocity u. Then what is the velocity of the other fragment? As it is divided into two equal fragments, equal masses, definitely the velocity of the first part is u, velocity of the second part is also u only, but in opposite direction. Then these two particles travel like this, and after some time, whenever the two particles reaches the positions here, the velocity vector of this particle is velocity of this particle is v1, velocity of this particle is v2. Velocity of this particle is v2. So here, after what time the angle between the velocity vectors is 120? That is the question they asked. First of all, after time t seconds, if the angle between the velocity vectors is say theta, then at the time after t seconds, what is the velocity of the first particle? Tell me directly. Tell me. v1 bar is equal to, whenever it reaches the point here, the horizontal velocity does not change. That is equal to vx is equal to v1x is equal to u only. What about v1y? v1y is equal to, along vertical direction initially it has no velocity. After t seconds, whenever it reaches the body point here, in vertical direction velocity acquired is equal to u plus at. U is 0, a means g into t. Already previous slide said, that's why I am writing directly. Okay. Okay, Pranit. v1 bar is equal to, how we can write now? X component of velocity is along positive x direction only, so u into y cap. Y component is along negative direction, so minus gt into j cap. Similarly, what is v2 bar? Horizontal component of velocity u only, but along negative x direction. That's why minus u into y cap. Vertical component is same for both, because for both the particles initial velocity is 0. That's why Vertical component of velocity here is along negative y direction. Okay, that's why minus dt into j cap. These are the velocities of the two fragments after t seconds. To find the angle between the two vectors here, we have to do the dot product. V1 bar dot V2 bar is equal to V1 V2 cos theta. From this cos theta is equal to. Okay, you keep like this only. Now you substitute the data. What about V1 bar dot V2 bar? V1 bar dot V2 bar means I cap coefficients product. U into minus U means minus U square plus into plus plus G square T square. I think you know the dot product. That's why I'm writing directly is equal to V1 means magnitude of this one square root of U square plus G square T square into V2 means magnitude of this one square root of U square X component square plus Y component square G square T square into cos theta is 120. So here minus U square plus G square T square, okay, is equal to, here these two are same. That's why root of this one whole square we can write. Root will be cancelled. Then U square plus G square T square into cos 120 minus half now. Now we do cross multiplication. Cross multiplication minus 2U square plus 2G square T square is equal to, here minus is there, minus U square minus G square T square. Okay, now you bring this minus 2U square to right and this G square T square to left. Then when you bring this minus 2U square to right, then minus U square plus 2U square, that means U square is equal to, when you bring this minus G square T square to left, it becomes plus. So 3G square T square you will get. Therefore, we need T. Therefore, T square is equal to something you write. T square is equal to U square by 3G square. Implies T is equal to U by root 3G. No? You substitute the data. T is equal to U means U only. Okay, this is the only answer I think. U by root 3G. I think answer is given like this only. Yeah, U by root 3G. Okay. Similarly, you can do the other problem. I will read the problem. Okay, I think you can do based on the concepts already I said. So if you can do that problem, we'll do the problems in some assignment. Okay, some different problems we have to do. You see, just you listen the problem. Just you listen the problem. A bomb at rest at the summit of a cliff. Summit of the cliff means at the top of the cliff or hill or tower. Breaks into two equal fragments. One of the fragments attains a horizontal velocity of 20 root 3. So one velocity is 20 root 3. Then other velocity also 20 root 3, no? Because mass are same. The horizontal separation between the two fragments when their displacement vectors are inclined at 60 degree. When the angle between the displacement vectors is 60 degree, what is the time taken? That is, what is the horizontal separation between them? Horizontal separation means u1 plus u2 into t, no? T you will get. Then we can find horizontal separation, no? No, here at this time there is no, here for me there is no possibility to share. That's why you listen the problem carefully. After that, I will put all these problems in I sent through WhatsApp to you. Okay, that's why I ask you to listen carefully. A bomb at rest at the summit of the cliff. Summit of the cliff means top of the cliff. It breaks into two equal fragments. One of the fragments attain a horizontal velocity of 20 root 3 meter per second. One fragment is having velocity 20 root 3. Then definitely other fragment is also having same velocity, no? As mass are same. Now horizontal distance between the two fragments. Horizontal distance between the two fragments whenever angle between their displacement vectors is inclined at 60 degree. That means whenever the angle between the displacement vectors is 60 degree, what is the separation between them? That is the question they asked. Okay. So I think you can do that problem based on the previous concept. Okay. Shall I go assignment? Okay. Right. So in this, we have to do 7, 8 problems. Now we have to do assignment. I will send assignment also to you. Assignment problems. Here, I will send the assignment to you. In that assignment, what is the number of the problem? I am mentioning the same number. I will mention the same number here. Actually, 117. 117 means we are not doing the 117th problem. In that assignment, the question number is 117 because I picked it from different books. Okay, that's why 117th number problem I am doing. That's all. Okay. 116th problem you have to do. So 117 number problem I am doing. Here, just you listen the problem carefully. A cricket fielder can throw the cricket ball with a speed of V0. A cricket fielder can throw the cricket ball with a speed V0. If he throws a ball while running with a speed U at an angle theta to the horizontal, the man is running with a speed U. At that time, the ball is projected with a velocity V0 with an angle theta to the horizontal. The theta at which he should throw the ball that would maximize the horizontal range. That is the question they asked. Okay, here first of all, you see, here the man is running with a velocity Vm. Vm is equal to U. The man is running with a velocity U and thrown the ball, cricket ball, with a velocity V0 by making an angle theta with a horizontal. Okay, if he throws the ball while running with a speed of U at angle of theta to the horizontal, the theta at which he should throw the ball that would maximize the horizontal range. To cover the maximum range, with what angle of projection for maximum range? What is the angle of projection with which he has to throw the ball? Okay, here you see, here whenever the ball is thrown with a whenever the ball is thrown with a velocity V0 with respect to this person, the velocity component of here, this is the relative velocity of the ball with respect to man. Okay, that relative velocity here, not relative velocity is not given. Here it is not relative velocity. Just the ball is thrown with a velocity V0. Okay, in this problem it is not given that this is a velocity with respect to man. It is not given like that. So the ball is thrown with a velocity V0 and running with a velocity U. So here, at the instant whenever it is thrown, as the man is having velocity U, the horizontal component of this velocity in this direction is V0 cos theta, plus at the same time as the man is running in this direction, this velocity is also added to the horizontal component of velocity. That's why horizontal component of velocity Ux is equal to V0 cos theta plus U. This is the horizontal component of velocity. Okay. Then with this horizontal component, here what is the vertical component of velocity? Vertical component of velocity is V0 sin theta only. Vertical component of velocity is V0 sin theta only. As the man is moving along horizontal direction, the vertical component of velocity of the object is remains same. Even you see with respect to man or with respect to earth, the vertical component of velocity is same only, V0 sin theta only. With this vertical component of velocity, time taken by the ball to reach the same horizontal plane is equal to 2u sin theta by z. That means 2 into vertical component of velocity uy by z. That is equal to 2 into vertical component of velocity is v0 sin theta. v0 sin theta by z. It is the time of flight. Okay, therefore, what is the range? Range is equal to horizontal component of velocity into time now. Horizontal component of velocity means you see v0 cos theta plus u into time of flight. With this horizontal component of velocity, in a time taken by the projectile to reach the horizontal plane, what is the distance traveled means this v0 cos theta plus u into t. Therefore, you substitute the data. So this is equal to v0 cos theta plus u into t means 2 v0 sin theta by Z. Okay. Here they asked for maximum range, what is the angle of projection with which it is thrown? Theta they asked. That's why for maximum range, if we differentiate this R with respect to theta, for one particular angle of projection as R is maximum, then it is constant. So for R max, dr by d theta is equal to 0. Okay. So you differentiate this one, d by d theta of, you multiply these two, v naught into 2 v naught cos theta into 2 v naught sin theta by g. That means v naught square by g into cos theta into 2 sin theta. 2 sin theta cos theta means sin 2 theta, we can write directly, plus 2 v naught u by g into sin theta. This is R value. Now this is equal to 0. Now we differentiate them. V naught square by g is constant. When you differentiate sin theta, you will get cos 2 theta into 2. Because 2 theta is there now. We are differentiating with respect to theta only. That's why you need not write d theta by d theta. Plus 2 v naught u by g is constant into, when you differentiate sin theta, you will get simply cos theta. That is equal to 0. Okay. Now you see what are the, okay, you write these are in different directions. V naught square by g into 2 cos 2 theta is equal to minus 2 v naught u by g into cos theta. Just I have written on right side. Here, what are the parameters cancel? V naught by g cancel. Okay, 2 cancel. Okay, therefore, v naught cos 2 theta is equal to v naught is given, not given. How we can write here? Here answer is given. Okay, v naught cos 2 theta plus u cos theta is equal to 0. V naught into cos 2 theta can be written as 2 cos square theta minus 1. No, we can write cos square theta minus sin square theta. Cos 2 theta can be written as cos square theta minus sin square theta. No, that sin square theta can be written as again 1 minus cos square theta. So you will get 2 cos square theta minus 1 plus u cos theta is equal to 0. So you multiply 2 v naught cos square theta minus v naught plus u cos theta is equal to 0. 2 v naught cos square theta plus u cos theta minus v naught is equal to 0. Here it is the variable only in theta. Remaining all are constants because we had to find theta only. Okay, so it is just like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now we to find the cos theta value, that means x value, cos theta is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. Okay, now cos theta is equal to minus b means coefficient of cos theta because it is quadratic in cos theta. Okay, that's why minus u plus or minus square root of b square means coefficient of cos theta square means u square minus 4 into a means 2 v naught into c means minus v naught by 2 into a means cos square theta coefficient 2 v naught. Therefore, cos theta is equal to minus u plus or minus square root of minus minus plus. So u square plus 4 2s are 8 v naught square by 4 v naught. Okay, shall we take positive or negative here? Definitely angle must be positive. It is not below the positive x-axis. It is above positive x-axis, means theta must be positive. To have theta positive, definitely if you take minus sign, you will get cos theta negative because this term is greater than this term because u square plus something is there. That's why this is greater than this one. That's why you have to take positive sign. Therefore, cos theta is equal to the ask. So theta is equal to cos inverse of minus u plus square root of u square plus 8 v naught square whole by So this is the answer. Yeah. This is the answer. No doubt. Yeah, Kaushal. Positive you have to take. No, by with the differentiation only, Varshit Reddy, with the differentiation only, we can do the problem as easy as possible. Okay, next. Okay, now next 140. Very, very important. An elevator is remaining problems you can do here. What are the problems left out? They can be done by you. Okay, 140. An elevator is going up vertically with a constant acceleration 2 meter per second square. An elevator. Suppose this is an elevator that is moving upwards with an acceleration 2 meter per second square upwards. Upwards. At the instant when its velocity is 4 meter per second. So at the instant whenever the velocity of the initial velocity of the elevator is 4 meter per second, at that time a ball is projected from the floor of the elevator with a speed of 4 meter per second relative to the floor. So relative to the floor, one ball is thrown with a velocity. Relative velocity is given. Relative velocity means velocity of the body with respect to lift is given. That is equal to 4 meter per second. No. A ball is projected from the floor of the elevator with a speed of 4 meter per second. Okay, 4 meter per second relative to the floor of the lift with an angle of elevation or angle of projection is 60 degree. The time taken by the ball to return to the floor is dash. So definitely, you see, after some time means as the lift is going upwards, after some time it comes to this position. Say, at that time, the body projected travel along the parabolic path like this, and here the parabolic path like this, and before it reaches the floor here, as the floor lifted to this point, the body reaches the point here. The body travel like this and reaches the point here. What is the time taken? They asked. I think you followed this answer. Question. 4 minutes more, no? Akshit? Adarsh, 4 minutes more. Okay. In this case, you see to find the time taken to reach the floor, you consider the relative velocity along vertical. You see, initial relative velocity of the body with respect to lift in upward direction is equal to, here already relative velocity only given, so their vertical component of velocity is how much? 4 cos 60, no? 4 cos 60, it is the relative velocity only. Again, we need not write the component, just we need not write the UV minus UL, we need not write, because relative velocity of the body with respect to lift is directly given. Okay, here they ask you to find the time taken by the body to reach the lift only. That's why relative velocity of the body with respect to lift along vertical upward direction is equal to 4 cos 60. That is equal to 2 meter per second, no? Because cos 60 1 by 2. So 2 meter per second. Okay, we know. Next, relative acceleration. Relative acceleration of the body with respect to lift is equal to acceleration of the body minus acceleration of the lift. Here, when the body is thrown into space, gravity acts vertically downwards direction. That's why acceleration due to gravity G acts downwards direction, whereas vertical component of velocity is upwards. That's why acceleration of the body due to gravity is minus G. Minus acceleration of the lift is same as the vertical component of velocity. That's why we have to write plus value only. So acceleration is 2. Therefore, minus G means 10 minus 2. That is equal to minus 12 meter per second square. It is the acceleration. Relative displacement. That means displacement of the body with respect to lift. You see, Whenever the lift is here, body is here only. After some time, whenever the lift reaches this position, the body reaches the floor only. That means with respect to floor, the body seems to be on the floor only. That's why along vertical direction, there is no relative displacement. So 0. So what is the time taken? T is equal to question mark. Time is only the ask now. Yeah, time. So what is the relation among them? S is equal to ut plus half h square. That means S relative is equal to u relative into t plus half into a relative into t square. S relative 0, u relative means 2 into time t plus half, a means minus, that's why minus you write, into 12 into t square. So here t is 2 6 are. Therefore 6 t square is equal to 2t. 2 t square cancel. So t is equal to 1 by 3 now. So after 1 by 3 seconds, the body reaches the floor after 1 by 3 seconds. Vertical component of velocity, that is called 4 cos 60. Okay. S is equal to 0 means from the lift when you observe, initially the body is here. Even the lift comes to this point, the body reaches on the floor only. That means along vertical direction with respect to floor, the body has no displacement along vertical direction. Suppose you drop here, you see, you stand inside the lift. You stand inside the lift. Okay. From the floor, you project the body. And lift is moving upwards and body is moving upwards and travel parabolic path. And when it reaches the lift again, it reaches the floor of the lift. Then how do you feel in the inside the lift? The body reaches the floor only again. That's why displacement along vertical direction is 0, no? Displacement along vertical direction is 0. Okay. So time is over. Next class I will explain. Here answer is given 1 by root 3. No, 1 by root 3 given. We have to check once where we have committed a mistake. Is it answer is wrong or our approach is wrong? We have to see. Okay, we are getting 1 by 3 only. Answer is wrong. We are getting 1 by 3 only because even you check time of flight is equal to general formula is 2u by z, no? 2 into vertical component of velocity by z. That means it is the relative vertical component of velocity by z. That is equal to 2 into relative vertical component of velocity is equal to velocity of projection along vertical direction is equal to 2, no? So 2 into 2 by z means 10. Okay. No, sorry. Relative acceleration. We have tried the relative acceleration here. A relative. A relative means we got 12. Therefore, 4 3s are. So 1 by 3. We got 1 by 3 only. So that is only answer. Okay, 1 by 3 is the answer. Okay. Right, Nana. Have a nice day. Today I will send the assignment to you. Maximum some for critical difficult problems I will send the solution also by doing myself, and I will send the solutions so that you can do the remaining problems. Okay. Have a nice day. I'm signing out. What is your doubt? Varshit. Varshit, what is your doubt? Varshit Reddy. Okay, Nana, thank you. I will send the assignment. This type of problems are, number of problems are there. U sign. Okay, 1 minute. Varshit, I will unmute you.
Sir,
Okay.
along vertical means U sin 60, no, sir?
Along vertical, U sign, okay, very good, very good. All right, here all of you listen to me. Here we have taken this sign, not cos. Okay, very good. Very good, Nana. Yes, U sin 60. So here also U sin 60, no? Very good. U sin 60. Okay. Now it is U 4 sin 60. 4 sin 60 means root 3, sin 60 means root 3 by 2. So 2 root 3, no? 2 root 3. So here this is equal to 0. So U relative, okay, you substitute the data. When you substitute the data, then 2 root 3 into t plus half. A relative means minus 12. That's a minus 12 into t square is equal to 0. 6r. Okay, t by 1 by root 3. 2 root 3t is equal to 6 t square. Okay, 2 3s are t square cancel. That implies t is equal to root 3 by 3 means 1 by root 3 because I did, but I am not getting here. That's why I'm thinking about this one for more time. Okay, 1 by root 3 second is the answer. Very good. Very good, Varshit Reddy. M. Varshit Reddy. Okay. Thank you, Nana. Right. So it's a very, very excellent problem. Good problem. Okay. Right. Have a nice day. I'm signing out because other sir is waiting for you. You too waiting for other sir. Okay. Right, Nana. Bye.